Hello, and welcome to the Knox County Public Library's Tutor Team. My name is Mr. Frederick, and today I will be tutoring grades 4 and 5 in English Language Arts. Our topic today will be context clues. So, the Indiana standards that we'll be covering are select and apply context clues, word, phrases, sentences, and paragraph clues, and text features to determine the meanings of unknown words. Now, has this ever happened to you? Sammy is reading. He comes to a word he doesn't understand. What should he do? Well, there are 5 main types of context clues. And of course, he should look for the context clues to help him understand what the words mean. So, number 1, the first type of context clue we're going to talk about is definition. Those are explanation clues. This definition or example or explanation clues, for example, a cacophony of noises surrounded the group of people. Cacophony is a mixture of harsh sounds. It tells you the definition or the explanation of what the word means in the actual sentence. So the second type we have is a synonym or a restatement clue. Synonyms mean words that mean the same thing. So whenever you have a word that you don't understand, sometimes they will give you another word that means the same thing next to it. So for example, we have, as the cacophony came through the phone line, he pulled it away from his ear to lessen some of the blaring racket. That meaning is right there in that word. The next type we have is an antonym or a contrast clue. You know, the antonyms mean opposites. So they may give you the word and they give you the opposite meaning of the word in a sentence. For example, after spending the peaceful day at the spa, the woman was shocked by the cacophony that hit her when she opened the door to the daycare center. Woo, excuse me, that's a tongue twister. So it gives you the opposite of what the word means here. An inference clue. If you remember what an inference is, it's when you take what you know and you take what you've read and you come up with your best guess. So on this one, for the example, the cacophony of war was challenging for some of the soldiers to handle. There were many nights when it was difficult for them to sleep. Now, look at the little boy thinking over here. It says, I know that sometimes if there is a lot of noise, I can't sleep. I bet there is a lot of noise from guns during war. I think cacophony must be a horrible type of noise. And he took that based on what he read and based on what he knows from his own experiences and came up with his best guess. And he's probably right. There are example clues. And in example clues, they basically kind of give you an example of what the word is. A cacophony of owl hoots, chirping crickets, and howling wolves surrounded us. I couldn't wait to return home to my own bed. So in this one, they gave you the example of the howling wolves, the chirping crickets, the owl hoots. All of those are examples. So let's search for word meanings using context clues. And if you didn't know what cacophony means by now, it means like lots of loud noises. Rackets were examples, things like that. So, Amy has altophobia. You will never find her at the top of a mountain. What do you think altophobia means? And how did you use context clues to help you determine the meaning? Note, it says different people may use different clues, and that's okay. There's no right or wrong way to find the answer as long as you figure out what it means. So, Amy has altophobia. You will never find her at the top of the mountain. So when I'm thinking about that, she's not going to be at the top of a mountain. What are top of the mountains? They're pretty high. So to me, that means that she's probably afraid of heights. Yep. That's the correct answer. Let's look at the next one. It is somewhat surprising that Christy has motophobia. After all, she loves butterflies. What do you think motophobia means? And how did you use context clues to help you determine the meaning? And we may not always be right, but if you think about it, she loves butterflies, but she doesn't like other things. So Mata sounds kind of look a little bit like moths, right? She loves butterflies. I think she's probably afraid of moths. Motophobia. Yep, and that's the correct answer. And the only reason I knew that is because I was thinking about the butterflies. Okay, Jamie has Amaxophobia, and I may not be saying these right, I'm doing my best. He has a fear of riding in cars. What do you think amaxophobia means? Now, this is one of those examples where they actually gave you the definition in the answer. So if I go back and look, I know that amaxophobia means he has a fear of riding in cars. That was where they actually told you the definition of it. So, next one. My sister will not go to the circus. She has coulrophobia, which she sees a person with white makeup, a big red nose, crazy hair, and gigantic feet. She is frightened beyond belief. What do you think coulrophobia means? Looking at the examples they gave, a big red nose, white makeup, crazy hair, and gigantic feet, I can pretty much decide or figure out that she probably has a fear of clowns. Let's check and see if I have the right answer. And we're right. Did you have the right answer? Going to the next one. Brandon is totally different than his brother, Alex. Alex loves anything spooky like ghosts, witches, and zombies, but Brandon has samhainophobia. He won't even go trick-or-treating. What do you think samhainophobia means? Whew, this one's tricky. So it says Brandon is totally different than his brother. So that means he's totally different. He's the opposite, right? So this is probably one of those ones that we're going to say is probably an antonym. He loves anything spooky like ghosts, witches, and zombies. So Alex loves all the spooky stuff. Brandon does not. He won't even go trick-or-treating. So he probably has a fear of, what do you think, scary things? Oh, he has a fear of Halloween. I didn't know that. So if we're talking about Halloween, we have witches and ghosts and things. If maybe they would have said mass, but they did give us a clue. They said trick-or-treating. So it's a fear of Halloween. Let's go to the next one. Melissa has melissophobia. It started when she was a kindergartner, and she was stung 10 times when she was walking home from school. What do you think melissophobia means? Okay, there's a clue here. If I go up, she was stung 10 times when she was walking home from school. What do you think that could possibly be? Because if she was stung 10 times, that kind of gives you a clue. What stings? I can think of things. Some people are allergic to them, including me. So what do you think it is? It's a fear of bees. She doesn't like bees. Okay, now, let's look at some of these. It says, before the game yesterday, Luke was active and excited. Today, however, he seems rather melancholy. So which of the following words means about the same as melancholy? So before the game yesterday, he was active and excited. Now he's the opposite. He's kind of down. So the answer should be gloomy. And that's okay because they kind of gave us the answer here. But what they want to know is what type of context clue did we use? Now, if you remember, we had explanation, we had definition, we had antonym, synonym, things like that. If you look at this one, before the game, he was active and excited. Now he's melancholy. To me, that's saying he's the opposite of what he was. So that one is an antonym clue. Let's go to the next one. Which of the following words means about the same as intriguing? That movie looks intriguing to me. I want to see it. So it means interesting. They've already kind of told us that. But they want to know which clue did we use to figure that out. So if we look, that movie looks intriguing to me. I want to see it. Is that an explanation? Is it a definition? Is it a synonym? Is it an antonym? I don't think it's a synonym or antonym. That movie looks intriguing to me. I want to see it. To me, it's kind of more of the explanation part because it's saying she wants to see it. So it helps helps you understand that it's something that she wants to go look at. It's something that she wants to see. I am very indecisive when it comes to shopping for clothes. My mom hates it when I keep returning to the dressing room to try on the same clothes over and over and over. Which of these following phrases means about the same as indecisive? not wanting to waste money, not caring what decision is made, quick to make a decision, unable to make a decision, or which of the context clues did you use? Okay, so they told us it was unable to make a decision because she constantly has to go back to and do the same clothes over and over and over and over. They gave us an example of what that word means, so, or an explanation. So that would be the context clue. You can use more than one. I would say either explanation or example. In my opinion, Bailey's actions are detestable. In fact, I think she is a bully, which the following words means about the same thing as detestable, funny, serious, horrible, or helpful. They're telling us it's helpful because, or horrible, sorry, excuse me. Which type of context clues did you use? So, in my opinion, Bailey's actions are detestable. In fact, I think she's a bully. So, if you look at it, I know what a bully is. I don't know what she did. I know what she did was supposedly detestable, but I don't really know what it was. I know a bully is someone that kind of picks on somebody. That's not very nice. So I'm thinking this one probably used the inference because you took what you know about bullies and you applied it to Bailey. So this is an inference context clue. Let's look at the next one. Cole is an inquisitive student. He asks many questions. Which of the following words means about the same as inquisitive, lazy, smart, perfect, or questioning? They said the answer is questioning, but they want to know which type of clue did we use to figure out that answer. So, what could we say? He asked many questions. So, they kind of gave us what the answer was. They kind of gave us the definition of the word inquisitive, asking many questions. So, this could be definition. It could also be an explanation of to what inquisitive is. So, one of those two would probably work the best. Next one. When my parents asked my brother where he wanted to eat on his birthday, he nonchalantly shrugged his shoulders. Which of the following words means the same as nonchalantly? Sadly, unconcerned, hungrily, or playfully? It's unconcerned. Those are big words, nonchalantly. So he was unconcerned, which means he really didn't care. So what clue did we use? The clue is shrugged his shoulders. That's one of those ones, too, that I would probably say is kind of an inference one because I know when I shrug my shoulders, it's like, I don't know, or I don't care. So when we do that, that's what that is. So I would say that we probably used an inference clue on this one because we took what we knew about shrugging shoulders and we made a guess about what we thought the word meant. Okay, next word. The movie director decided to capture the serene mood by filming the scene at the sunset beside a still lake. Which of the following words means about the same as serene? And they say it means calm. How do we know that? Because they've seen beside a still lake. The still lake gives you an example of what serene means. So the answer would probably be example on this one. The next one. Cora is an earnest student. She tries her best, turns in her homework, studies for test, and never gives up. Which of the following words means about the same as earnest? And we said it's serious. Which type of context clue did we use? Well, serious. We know she's serious because it says in the sentence that she tries her best, she turns her homework in, and she studies for tests, and she never gives up. So they're giving you examples of what she did, but they're also giving you kind of an explanation of what she does to be an earnest student. So you could either say explanation or examples in this one. So on to the next one. It was the first day of summer vacation, and the kids felt liberated. No more homework, no more tests, and no more alarm clocks for 2 long months. Which of the following words means about the same as liberated? They're telling us that liberated means free, but we got to figure out what kind of context clue did we use? Well, we see no more homework, no more tests, no more alarm clocks for 2 long months. So what are they doing here? They're kind of giving us examples of things that the kids aren't going to have to do anymore. So that's kind of what I would say that's an example context clue. I could also see where somebody would say explanation, but to me, they're giving you examples of how those children are going to be liberated, so I would stick with that one. On to the next one. We are hoping to fly to my grandparents' house for Christmas, but the weather forecast shows abominable weather on the day of our flight. I sure hope we don't get stuck spending Christmas in the airport. Which of the following words means about the same as abominable? Abominable. Oh, it's a tongue twister. We have white, surprising, unpleasant, and perfect. They said the word is unpleasant. Now, how can we figure that out? Well, if we go back up and we look, we see that they're talking about that they hope they don't get stuck spending Christmas in an airport. Now, I know from what I've read before that when I get stuck somewhere, it's usually not a good thing. So I wouldn't think the weather would be good. To me, that would mean the weather would be bad. So what kind of context clue did we use here? If the weather is abominable, and we know that they sure hope you don't get stuck spending Christmas in an airport, they're kind of giving us an explanation, but you could also use an inference because when people get stuck in airports, it's usually because of a storm or it's raining or something like that. You see it on the news and the weather all the time. He is a rather tenacious individual. He can be quite stubborn at times. Which of the following words means about the same as tenacious? Friendly, unsure, weak, or stubborn? They say the answer is stubborn. This one actually literally gives you the definition in here. It says he is stubborn. So that's how we can figure that one out. It's actually giving you the definition of the word. These two girls couldn't be more different. Erica always sees the good in everything, while Samantha tends to be pessimistic. Now, this time they're a little bit different. They want you to find the phrase as pessimistic, but we need to figure out what pessimistic means first. If I'm going up here and we say that Erica always sees the good in everything, while Samantha always tends to be pessimistic, those are antonyms. They're giving you the opposite, right? So, looking down here at the bottom, because we know it's an antonym, I know that if she sees the good in everything, and that's a good thing, then the opposite would have to be pessimistic. So what does that mean? What would be this thing that means the same thing as pessimistic? A negative outlook on life. That odor is repugnant. Is there a skunk around here? Which of the following words means about the same as repugnant? Remember, use your context clues. They're saying, is it lovely? No. Surprising? Nope. Disgusting? Yep. And the other word was favorable. I know it's disgusting because I've smelt what a skunk smells like, and it is not a good thing. So the word would be disgusting. These are all nice words. Disgusting is not a nice word. It's something that's really gross or smells really, really bad. Which of the following words means about the same as menacing? That cartoon character is a rather menacing villain. Now, I know from what I've read before that villains are usually not good people. And the only one that kind of goes with that is evil. So what kind of context clue did we use there? I made an inference. Now, you may have used something different, but I took what I knew about villains, and I took what I've read and what I've seen on TV and movies, and I made the inference that they were evil. So, that is the end of our lesson today. If you would like to watch this lesson or any other Knox County Public Library's Tutor Team videos, you can go to YouTube and search KCPL Tutor Team, and you'll find several videos now. I hope you have a great day, and we'll see you again next week. Thank you.